classes, if you like, Cameron, 1 and 2. There are some fast, cool machines in this brigade, aren't there?
Yeah, these are the hot rod boys, mate. So the GT1 guys are obviously the fastest out of all the 4 categories we've got here this weekend, and then the GT2 boys. So these boys can't break out of a 140. I think a spanner's been thrown in the works here, mate, because I think the Trans Am at the front might be broken. So I saw it heading back to the workshop. I think he's got a clutch issue. So this could go to anybody.
Cool. For people that have followed the class before, it's nice to have you with us sharing your insights on it. But we have seen you on the track before. People might fondly remember a pretty special moment for you at on the Hamilton street track just down the road, not all that long ago, really.
Yeah, it was quite cool to be there for the supercar guys. Awesome event that we missed that Hamilton street race. Grouse track, concrete walls, no room for error. Great fun to go there and win it and hang out for all you guys. Awesome weekend. It's a shame we don't have it still.
But the replacement just up the road here is a beautiful purpose-built venue that we go motor racing on regularly, and to think it's the home this year of the 67th New Zealand Grand Prix is pretty cool. Nice to have your class is the plural as a part of a huge weekend of motorsport here. So we saw 3 and 4 a little earlier today. For people that haven't seen GTRNZ, effectively no rules.
No rules at all, mate. You can do whatever you do. It's just got to be based off a factory car. So you can actually do a full space frame chassis in one of these if you want. As long as it looks kind of like it, you're good to go. And engine choice, whatever you want. No EVs yet. We haven't seen that happen yet, but I imagine that's not too far in the future.
I love that old kind of movie line, you know, what lies beneath kind of thing. And there are some cars in this field with really interesting power plants that you wouldn't ordinarily see when these cars rolled off the production line many years ago.
Definitely. If you keep an eye out for the little white Mini here, it's got a Honda turbo on it, and he bats way out of his league, mate. It's a rocket ship of a thing. And the boys are so determined, they blew a head gasket and they changed it this morning.
Wow.
They went out of qualifying. So some pretty clever guys running around the pits here. They're building bits and pieces. So here's Hayden Gear on the tally now. Unbelievable little weapon of a car, mate. Like the speed it does and its performance is sensational.
People might know names like John Mitchell, for example. There are cars that have a bit of a super touring heritage as well in the category, aren't there?
Yep. So obviously Super Touro's had some pretty strict rules and stuff to keep the category even. He doesn't have to comply by those by now. He can run whatever tyres, he can hot the motor up and pretty much get into it with whatever he wants. So this race here, Greg, you'll see the GT2 guys actually get to go first. So the fast boys start from the back. So it makes it a little bit tougher for the GT1 guys. So these guys will get a head start. So when you watch, you go, it's not a reverse grid race. That's just what they've done to try and make the sport a little bit interesting.
How do they come about the time penalty? And that's something you follow for the delineation, if you like, of the classes very closely, don't you?
That's right. The time's really important that you stay in your correct group. And these guys are all within a time bracket of around 1:40 to 1:46 around here, I believe. So very, very tight. You'll see some close racing. Very different in how they handle and perform John Midgley's car. Obviously, Super Tourer, very well set up, very supercar-like, as you'll be used to. But then you've got like Andy Duffin's Batman that's been hotted up, got a full Aero kit on it, a tri-rotor engine in it, kiwied up to the max, and should be similar speed.
And out of grid position 9, something unique to look out for too, Andrew Stewart in the Datsun 1200. We'll tell you about that as the race unfolds. Revs rise. Oh wow.
No, what's going on here?
Yellow flags being waved at the start line, so there's obviously some concern about the cars ahead of them. Have we got a start issue here, and will they, in race control, allow that to be a play-on scenario? So
I'm wondering if they're watching for the lights to go out, and I think they used the flag to start the race. So I think a couple of the boys got a head start here. Simon Barry's blasted off into the lead here, so be interested if they pull the safety car out and do a restart.
Some people that are way smarter, much better grey matter than I have right next door to us to our commentary position here. That is Motorsport New Zealand Race Control, so they were a little wide-eyed there with the start. We'll keep in close contact with those good folk in there and see what they say in relation to this start. At the same time, we're keeping an eye on the second wave, if you will, and what will happen. It was 6 laps this morning. We're scheduled for 8 laps here now, aren't we?
Yeah, so the faster car do 8 laps. I'll be on time because they're a bit quicker, so they get through the laps a bit quicker. And a few more Ks as you get a bit better too.
3 wide here, interesting approach. all fair, play on, no battle scars, we like that.
Ford Falcon and a Nissan and an Evo. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
And there's a little MG of that's been built up, that's got a V8 in it and paddle shifted and traction control and a whole lot of goods in that one. So the fast boys are coming now. Obviously, Kerry Jones is missing, and Andrew Stewart's missing as well. I see they've had a coil failure down in the pit, so the little Flash Datsons maybe on car show only duties this weekend.
Well, it's worth seeing for the fans that are here at Hampton Downs, and we've got a good roll-up of them for the Grand Prix and the various displays we have around here, and the massive array of categories. Remember, in the twilight, Valvoline GT1 drifting coming your way here at Hampton Downs too, but worth checking out those cars. And that, even though Andrew's not out there, midget engine, a speed car engine, and you know that machine, that Datsun 1200, pretty well, don't you?
Yeah, awesome bit of engineering. Obviously, cruise down to the pits and have a look. That's one of the fantastic cars that have been built in this class. Several cars have had V8 stuck in them. Some take them out and put rotaries in it. So there's a bit of a mixture. It depends on what part of the country you're born, I think. So, but very clever dudes there, mate. And interesting race strategy here, because the fast boys have actually caught these guys up quite quickly. So I wonder if their start procedures kind of been messed up a little bit. So as we see Andy Duffin actually on the back of this group already. So interesting, pretty dangerous, interesting.
You're effective, or you're race leader on the top of your graphics that you can see there to the left of your screen. Shane Parsons from Ben Stewart and Simon Barry, but as Cameron detailed, there's got some fast guys that are coming through this field here. We glanced on something a moment ago. You did a double take. I'm not sure whether it was a Corvette or a Mustang or whatever it was, but it looked like it had Trans Am heritage too. Some interesting machines.
Yeah, they do. A lot of the boys chuck big wings on, as you can see here. So all the stuff from the factory classes or whatever get binned, and they put big wings on them, and I don't know if they go to a wind tunnel or anything quite as flash as that. We actually use a bit of talcum powder and a fan, so okay. A bit of a budget one.
There is another aspect of our discussion here, and that is that it eliminates the need by nature, because of the rule structure that you have, for really serious policing of the tech stuff. As we see this unfold here, elbows out, Ben Stewart takes the lead. Nicely done.
Great racing between these two, and you'll see the little Honda's actually got a turbo bolter on the front of that thing, so a very rapid car. And the little Nissan. Yep. I think it's got a Nissan V8 in it, so it's a lot faster than what everybody realises. So this young boy's been given a shot. He's come out of karting. The guy that's owns the car has stuck him in to have a skid this weekend. And Ben is a good young steerer, so a little bit of experience. People will know across the COVID period in a Mazda RX-8. This is a massive step up for him. I think it was first time in the wet conditions in this car on Friday. He is doing a super job. Yep, the little Honda, he won't give it up easy. He's a pretty determined man. You see the traditional front-wheel drive with the left-hand inside wheel off the ground then. He'll be looking forward to some straight line stuff, that's for sure. Looks like the little Nissan's actually hooked up pretty good this weekend, Greg.
I think it's 500 plus horsepower in that Nissan, really. Oh, and off goes one of the RX-7s. So now we've got lots of standing water around the edges of the track. The team here at Hampton Downs have done an amazing job with the preparation and presentation, but that will be very hard for that RX-7 to get out of there. So the question now is, will it necessitate a safety car? As we look at Super Sprint replay, this is for the lead.
Very close. I think he might have only just rubbed the numbers off the door. No, it might have been before then.
Love the difference in performance and capability of the two cars, and how we see those strengths shown in different places around Hampton Downs. So out of that corner, things closed up pretty quickly, and so naturally exit stage left for the RX-7.
Yeah, but he's probably bogged down there too, so it's very, very wet up here in Auckland, so no chance of getting out of the grass. So hopefully the race carries on, and he's a safe enough position that they can finish this one without a safety car. Ben's got a nice buffer up his sleeve in the V8 powered Nissan over Shane Parsons. Nick Jones holding down third place from Shane Whiteley, and John Midgley's now come up, as you can see, coming through into turn one there in that Falcon X Super Tourer, up into fifth place. Definitely. So these boys have started about 25-30 seconds behind, so they've got a fair bit of ground to make up on these guys. Sometimes the GT1 guys don't actually get to the front of the field. Where I was going with my point before, you don't need a whole heap of scrutineers and people that need to cast their eye over a technical rule book, do you? You've more or less eliminated that by the no rules structure. Yeah, obviously you'll see in supercar wing heights and splitter heights, everybody wants to be the same. Here there's no tools at all, mate. There's a beer at the barbecue. Oh, did you make it go faster by putting that on? I'll give myself one of those from Mitre 10 and chop her up and put her on. Absolutely. And so, I mean, the natural way that you level this is by looking at lap times, is that right? Yeah, that's 100% right. So whatever lap time you do, you put in your class. So if you turn up, you could go by the latest Trans Am. If you're a new boy on the block. Obviously, we don't want to stick you in with the GT1 guys straight away. So you can start in GT3, slowly proceed up the grid, and then end up in GT2 and GT1 eventually as the seasons tick on.
Under 5 laps left, about 4.5 to go in this first one. Tradezone GTRNZ, 8 laps scheduled through. Here's something Corvette, cool.
Traditional
That is
Trans
cool,
Am.
yeah. People remember that era in this country very fondly.
So that's quite a famous car. That's actually on Mike. So it was driven by a lot of people, Kane Scott and stuff here, and I think it's been overseas a few times too. So Beaker there's got it, and he's stuck to the traditional side of it. So you'll either look in the wings and stuff as how that raced in its era of time. I think there's been a little diffuser put on there and maybe a sequential gearbox, but pretty much still Trans Am spec.
I've still got 90s fashion. That's a cool machine.
I did notice that when I come up here.
Thank you. Let's press on here. So Ben Stewart with a decent advantage over John Midgley, who is now up into second place. That's a great drive from Midgley to just carve his way through the field and eventually get to P2, and we've still got a good few laps to unfold yet. Can they catch Stewart?
Yeah, and Midgley was on pole for this race, so he was the quickest in the damp conditions in qualifying. So super good car pace out of that to beat some of the Trans Am cars to pole position this morning.
Yeah, in the midst of the wide array of machines, as we go to pit lane here and have a look at the 271.
So Andy Duffin, obviously, with a little bit of an error. He's been out of the game for a little bit. His first meeting back for a while.
Here's for the lead. So this is for the lead. Sorry to dive across you here, Cam, because this is game on. John Midgley versus Ben Stewart. Ben leading the way in that V8-powered Nissan. The Super Tourer looks down the inside. Big dive and gets it done. New race leader. What's the Nissan got in response? Does it have enough in response? Doesn't seem like it at the moment. Falcon looks like it has the edge.
Great effort by Midgley to get through the field with still 3 laps to go after this one. So his pace has been unbelievable this weekend. Just got the car hooked up super good.
Some cool minds, I would imagine, in the paddock area as well. People that enjoy tinkering, modifying, engineering these machines and coming up with some clever things.
Yeah, I think engineering for us guys over here compared to supercars might be a little bit different. There's a lot of bits of string and bits of wood.
Or grassroots, shall we call it. That's a nicer way of saying it.
Builder's level and the occasional things that, you don't see these flash wheel on machines and stuff. But hey, the guys have a ball. As you can see here, the cars are presented fantastically with all the different brands and colours and engines and stuff like that. So if you're interested in open saloon car racing with no rules, this is the class. Jump on GTRNZ.com. Have a look. Pretty straightforward, really. If you can put your number on, you've got a roll cage and a race suit, you can line up on the grid and get on with it.
Well played. Nice, timely plug. And I mean, the most important thing is that in addition to that freedom that you've talked about, what you can race. Oh, what a shame.
Oh, the Mini's out.
Race radio, caution, exit turn, drivers right.
Those boys have worked so hard to change the head gasket and get that back going this morning too, so hopefully it's not the same problem again.
Hopefully it's not in we've heard race control draw everyone's attention or awareness to where that car is. Doesn't seem like it'll necessarily be an issue at the moment.
No, 2 laps to go for Midgley here, so he's got a bit of a buffer now. If we're Shane Whitley come through the field too, so he started with some of the fast boys. Oh, he's going to be close. Good braking.
Great break. It was almost Speedway style, wasn't it? Beautiful. Somehow arrested it and drifted it. But we're going to see a bit of drifting later on. That was sort of taking a leaf out of that book, wasn't it?
So, yeah, good work by Nick Jones. Obviously, Kerry Jones is famous as dad for sprint car racing over here, so maybe the apple's not too far from the tree there, eh? You get good control. We actually thought the Honda might have been a little bit more pace there, Greg. Shane Parsons has kind of dropped off a little bit. He was going like a gun at the beginning, so maybe he's cooked his tyres or something as we see a replay come now.
So lock rears, I thought it might have been because options were running out, but just as it kind of crested the hill there on the brakes, you know what that's like at this stage of the game too.
Yeah, he actually did a good job of controlling and not actually tapping Shane as well. So no dent, no damage, carry on.
Awesome.
So John's got this in the bag big time this weekend. Hopefully no dilemmas and no commentator curses going on with us, but it looks like he's got it sorted to head home for another lap.
has had a good partnership for some time now with Rock and Rubble, for example. And from memory, he's a land surveyor, is he, or something along those lines?
I think so. I think he's had a year or so off racing too. I think this is his first time back for a while, so he's obviously not too rusty because he's doing the business well and truly. Was a feature in things like the North or South Island Endurance Championship, so nice to see him back, and great category for him to rejoin. We have a little look from the very end of pit lane. It's the kind of viewing platform. Great place to watch some of the racing around. Fantastic spots around here to look at the track. We actually shot down the bottom earlier on to watch GTRNZ qualifying, and awesome facility, mate. You got to hand it to Quinny.
You really do.
Great events, and the people were back at the track here walking around the pits. So appreciate everything he does to make the sport happen, and the new promoters of Super Sprint and everything that's going on. So the classes are loving it. We're putting on a show, and the cars have got big grids, so we're happy. Great
things in between races for people to go around. I mean, for those that are coming to the track perhaps tomorrow for the Grand Prix, wander around with one lap left to go in this race and check out some of these very, very cool machines.
Yeah, definitely come down to the pits, Greg. The boys will lift the bonnets up, put the kids in the car. There's some GTRNZ shirts and merch there, and everybody's willing to have a chat. There's no covers over anything, so don't be too disappointed if you lift the bonnet up and a V8 Commodore's got a rotary in it or something like that.
We love that. We love a bit of cool engineering. Right, John Midgley leads the way with a buffer of nearly 8.3 seconds over Ben Stewart. We're headed for home in this one, GTRNZ. You've talked about the website. I would imagine people can follow some of the stuff as we see a car slowing here.
So Brad Jessen's had spark issues all morning, so he'll be devastated. They finally got to the problem of it, but one lap short. Sorry, Bradley.
What a shame. May have reared its head again or something. Continuation perhaps of that problem. So only a couple of corners remaining for Midgley now as we have a look at him here. Quickly, people can no doubt check out some of the stuff on social media for you guys too, I would think. Yeah, we've got our Facebook page and stuff running, so the boys and girls down there are doing a good job. Nigel Snow runs the show now, so if you want to catch up with everything that's going on, just go to GTRNZ New Zealand, obviously, or .com and their Facebook page, and have a look. Put some comments down there, but definitely come down and have a look. These guys are having a great fun, mate. It's good to hang out with the boys again. We've been out of the series for a little bit, just having a bit of a lay-down time before we bring the Trans Am back, so pretty exciting to come here and see a mass array of cars and people like John that can compete and win a GT1 race in a Super Tourer. Checkered flag waves. John Midgley wins the race for classes 1 and 2 here, GTRNZ. Nice work. We were just waiting for Ben Stewart to cross the finish line. There he is in the Nissan. The youngster gets home in second place. Great first race meeting. First race for us, second on the podium. Awesome work by the youngster. Huge step up in horsepower from him. There was a lot of noise made when he was racing that RX-8. Pretty handy at the wheel of a simulator too, from memory. So youngster with some good talent and not afraid of the throttle of the horsepower when it's under the right foot there. Really cool. Definitely a Shane Whitley home in third in his home-built V8 Falcon. It looks like a Super Tourer or supercar style thing, but all done in the shed at home. Mega. All right. Rest of them cross the line there. Hyundai, we've seen that car around in kind of Super Tourer competition before too, haven't we? Yeah, I don't know if it actually made it in time to Super Tourers. They were kind of building it up in the category finish, so it's had a couple of owners since then, and he does a lot of endurance racing as well. Endurance racing, so I was meaning to say, yes, well done. So he gets very good bang for buck. Super Tourer style is the point I was making. So here's the confirmation of the race results for you. GTRNZ, great to have them with us, and they will be with us at the back end of the tour as well. So going to places like Manfield, Topor, and so on is going to be great. John Midgley wins it from Ben Stewart. We go back, the Shanes, third and fourth respectively. Nick Jones rounds out your top 5. Top 10 completed by Todd Murphy. And it's a